What's up, y'all? Marvel Cross 316 back with another comic book flashback. Today we are looking at Daredevil, issue number 7. This issue came out in April of 1965, and today we are going to see a classic battle between Daredevil and Namor. That's right, and also we are seeing the debut of Daredevil's classic red costume. It's the costume that he still wears today. And so we have an exciting issue for just awesome issue to look at today. Today's title is In Mortal Kombat with Submariner. That's right, we're going to be seeing just an all-out action-packed story today. Daredevil and Namor, they meet for the very first time in this issue. Prior to this issue, they had never met before. And so we have a classic battle to look at today. As always, we got to give credit where credit is due. This issue is brought to you by Stan Lee, who wrote this issue. We have Wally Wood doing the artwork and Artie Simek doing the lettering page. And I have to say, Wally Wood did an fantastic job. Just a fantastic job on this issue here with just some of the best artwork I've seen since we started looking at all of these issues. Issue number 7 just knocks it out of the park here with some of the best artwork I've seen. And so, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with today's story. And we start out the issue here. We have Krang. He is this top notch warlord. He is a high ranking warrior in the ranks of basically Atlantis. And we also see that he is confronting Namor by asking him, when are we going to be able to live on the surface world? When are we going to take back what is ours, our rightful heritage? And one thing Namor is trying to basically explain to Krang and the rest of the Atlanteans is that we have to do things the lawful way. We can't go out and make another war. It's just not going to happen. And this is something that Krang finds just distasteful because, as we see here, he thinks Namor is a fool and that he really wants to take the throne away from Namor. That's his biggest plan here. And so, one thing we're going to see here is that Namor is going to try to do things the lawful way by going to the surface world, going to New York City, and trying to find the best lawyers that he can. And so Namor has a plan of his own, up his own sleeves here. He's going to try his best to do things the lawful way. So we see here that Karen Page tells Matt Murdock that there's a bunch of murmuring going on in the streets and a lot of commotion, and we come to find out that the commotion is coming from the arrival of Namor. He's in the streets, and look at just some of the mayhem he's already doing right here. He's tearing apart equipment here, all these doors, just tore this elevator apart here. And one thing he's looking for is he's looking for Nelson and Murdoch. He's trying to find these lawyers so that he can get down to business as to what he's planning on doing here. And we come to find out that he's wanting to sue the entire human race because he feels that they are depriving the Atlanteans of their birthright. And so what we see here is that Matt Murdock tries to level with Namor by saying, look, there's just no way, there's just impossible for you to sue the entire human race. There's just no way because there is not a single country that controls all of the human race. There's just one human race. And so it would be impossible, and you got to have some evidence. And so what we see here is Namor is going to try to force his way into having a trial, and we'll see exactly how that occurs later on. We see that he crashes out of the building, so much damage already being done just because of Namor and his arrogance here. And so we see here newspapers are ran in the New York Daily Press talking about Submariner runs amok in the city here. So we have the press talking about it, and we have the army, and they're going to get involved here, and they're going to try to stop Namor. We see that Matt Murdock, he suits up here and he dresses up in his new costume. He debuts in his new costume here in the classic red costume. He also added some new gadgets to his weaponry here, and we'll see more of that as we continue. Look at this story here. He grabs and just floats along with this plane here, and this is exactly what he's going to try to do as he finds out the exact location of Namor. He's taking on all these army men here, and here we go with the first confrontation between Namor and Daredevil here, and what a classic bash we have right here. They collide right into the ocean here at the pier, and this is where Namor is in his element, as we know, as you've seen in past videos, as I've reviewed in the Fantastic Four issues and early Avengers issues. We know how powerful Namor can be when he is in his own element. And one thing we see here is that Namor actually surrenders to the army. And what is he doing? Why? Well, we're going to find out exactly why he's doing this, why he surrendered. We come to find out that he's surrendering so that finally he can get a trial. So a day passes. We're now going to have this trial, and Namor is basically going to have a trial to say that basically he feels that, as we can see here, guilty of outrageous assault attempting to overthrow the government by force. These are some of the accusations that are being thrown at Namor. And we see that Nelson and Murdock are actually going to be the lawyers for Namor here. And the case for him is saying, look, my client is the supreme monarch of his people. His word is the spoken law. And look, we can't treat him like a criminal here. All of a sudden, we see here that Lady Dorma comes and she confronts Namor by saying, look, Krang is actually starting a rebellion in your absence. You need to get there quickly. So Namor now changes his entire mindset, and he's like, look, I got to get to Atlantis. I need to save my people. But we see here that Matt Murdock is going to level with Namor once again by saying, look, you've got your chance to be in court. Don't throw it away, okay? Just give us 24 hours and we'll show you that we can have this trial. Well, we come to find out that the trial is being put off for an entire week. Namor learns of it, and he breaks out of jail, and now he's just going to continue to wreak mayhem in New York City, and he's just pretty unstoppable. I mean, just look at some of the power that he has, this superhuman strength here. Not even grenades are able to stop Namor. And so what Matt Murdock has to do is he has to suit up, and he's going to now tackle tackle Namor once again as Daredevil. This time he confronts the army saying, look, let me handle Namor, okay? I don't want any casualties, okay? So we see here that Namor and Daredevil are going to fight once again. More great artwork once again. I have to say, some of the best artwork I've seen so far in this series. And so we see just some of the great battle scenes here. And I'll just let you see some of the great, awesome battle scenes once again that I'm talking about. So as we can continue to look at this story here, I have to say this is probably one of the most action-packed stories so far as well. We see that Namor snaps this lamppost and he's going to use it, knocks out Daredevil here, and by colliding it with Daredevil, and Daredevil still does not give up. That's one thing about Daredevil. He's not going to give up until he's completely defeated. He uses this electric wire and tries his best to electrocute Namor here, and it works, but it actually causes more weakness to Daredevil than to Namor. Namor continues to walk off, and then Daredevil grabs a hold of his heel, and then we see right here that Namor admits, look, I fought the Fantastic Four, I fought the Avengers, but none of them compared to the fight that I've had with you, Daredevil. And you're a very courageous person, and because of that, I'm going to return to Atlantis, and I'll fool with this whole legal scenario later. I have to return to Atlantis to save my people. And so we see here that Namor returns back to the seas here, The very next day, Matt Murdock learns about the battle with Submariner, and of course he knows about it, and he almost reveals his secret identity by catching Karen Page here as she tripped over that chair here, and she says she's really thinking like, man, it's almost as if he can see everything even though he's blind. And so Matt Murdock almost blew his cover there, but that's how we end this issue. I hope you like it. It was a pretty, like I said, action-packed story with Daredevil and Namor fighting for the first time. Hope you liked it. And until next time, before we look at issue number 8, go ahead and give this video a like. Comment down below what you liked about this issue. And keep reading comics.